Hello, I'm David from David Savoury Electrical, and I'm spending this cold November Saturday evening talking to you about smoke alarms, because that's about as exciting as my Saturday evenings get these days. And very fine products these are too, in fact. These are Eco smokes. Obviously other brands are available, and Chubb and Fire Range are perhaps a couple of makes that may be more recognisable to the general public, but I tend to fit these Eco ones, and very nice they are too. And I'm not the only one who fits these, because there's several new housing estates springing up in the once green fields of Whitnash around here, and they all seem to have these things in the same sort of the same brand. When it comes to new houses, in order for the builder to comply with the building regulations, they have to stick a smoke alarm in every escape route. So you're going to find these things on the landings and the bottom of the stairs, and they're also going to stick a heat alarm in the kitchen, and that all meets Category D LD3 minimum protection requirements, which is, like I say, the minimum for a new dwelling. However, these fellas have been causing a couple of headaches on some of the houses I've visited, not because they're in any way defective or dodgy or anything like that. They're a perfectly capable alarm, but because the nature of the new houses is quite open plan, you find that when one of these things is installed at the bottom of the stairs, it also means it's very close to the kitchen. The kitchen, living room and the hallway where the bottom of the stairs are tend to be one big open space. So when people start cooking in the kitchen, then it starts nuisance alarming, the smoke alarm, with the one at the bottom of the stairs causing the trouble. And the reason for that is that because the builders have been fitting these ionisation smoke alarms, which, again, perfectly capable, but they're not really the right job for being close to a kitchen. When you're near a kitchen, you want an optical smoke alarm. The difference is the ionisation alarm is better for detecting flaming fires, whereas the optical smoke alarm is better for smouldering fires. And because of that, it means that when you're doing your general cooking, and we're not talking about nuking the toast here, but just general cooking, then if there's a little bit of a whiff in the air, instead of this thing tripping and setting off all the other smoke alarms, if you've got one of these at the bottom of the stairs, then it's less likely to cause any earache to you and your diners as you cook your dinner of an evening. Now, I've got my Toolstation catalogue here, which is one place on the high street where you can pick these things up from. And I can see that the ionisation alarm, the ones that the builders are sticking in everywhere, are £17.76, whereas the optical alarm, which is less likely to cause headaches, is £26.30. So it's £8.54 more expensive, which is perhaps why they don't go around fitting them. But it's a shame, because what you often find is that when people are sick of their smoke alarm sounding when it shouldn't be, that they end up just taking the thing down, pulling the batteries out and disabling it, really, which obviously defeats the objective of having a gadget there which is supposed to save your life in the event of the worst happening. If we take a look at these, this is the ionisation alarm and this is the optical alarm. And we can see that physically they are slightly different. So if you look at your ceiling, if you're not sure which model you've got, you can have a look there, and if it's got the round button on the end of a big sort of ovally thing, then that's the ionisation alarm. You can see that the optical alarm just has the round button on its own. Now, although these things are mains powered, they do still require a battery, and it's a standard PP3 battery which sits in the back here. I'm going to put this in. It might actually start bleeping every now and again, which is one of the reasons why I took it out in the first place. But there we go. That's how the battery fits in there. Now, if you've got one of these in your new build house, or if you've got one of these in your house and it's near the kitchen and you're fed up with the damn thing going off every time you're doing the cooking, then it's quite easy to change it out. Like I say, you can get the optical alarms from places like Toolstation, so they're available on the high street. You don't need any tools other than a small flat blade screwdriver. And what you'll find is that the alarm itself sits on a base. The base is affixed to the ceiling, and that's where the wires go inside there. And the alarm just sort of, I don't know how well this is going to show up on here, just slides into place on the base there. So if you wanted to change one type of alarm for another, or if you need to change the batteries in your alarm, and it will start bleeping for 20 minutes, once a minute for 20 minutes if the battery gets low, so you still have to take these down to maintain them. Then you take your small flat blade screwdriver, and on the back, on one side of the alarm, you'll see there's an arrow which points to where you need to push that screwdriver into, which will allow you to, he says, slide the base from the alarm body. And like I say, that gives you access to the battery there, which you should obviously change every 12 months. And of course, as the fire brigade say, you should test it regularly, push the test button, and because in the new build houses all the alarms are interlinked, they should all sound off. It's the same for the heat alarm as well. That's again a slightly different physical appearance. It's got a bit that sticks out in the middle. So you can see the difference with that. The heat alarm will be in the kitchen, but usually on these new builds the smoke alarm for the bottom of the stairs isn't too far away from the heat alarm, maybe only a metre or 2 or 3. And like I say, it's the ionisation alarm that causes the false alarms, which the optical alarm will eliminate. So if you want, you can just go out and change your alarm for one of the optical ones. It will cost you about 25-26 quid. It does leave you with a perfectly sound alarm. These things have a 10-year expiry on them, so you can see on this one it's replaced by July 2027, just slightly over 10 years, because it's still 2016 as I record this. Leaves you with a perfectly good alarm which you can try and deploy elsewhere. It's a shame to chuck it away. But it will solve, or at least cut down on the number of false alarms you're having while cooking if you do go out and invest in one of these optical fellas.